I could see Billy walking up the stairs there before I got to this step here, and the team behind him, and then myself and Murdoch behind me. And it was quite an amazing afternoon and quite an amazing moment in my life.
There's a wonderful photograph of the team taken just before you head up the tunnel, just over behind us at those dressing rooms. The bus is behind you.
Yeah.
I find it a really interesting and kind of bizarre photo because you must have been really hyped up, nervous, but to stand for a photo, that must have felt like a bit of an inconvenience.
It was, yeah, press men. they're always a nuisance when you don't want them, you know. But no, it was, you know, I was usually seated with Gemmell, like 2 or 3 from the front. But somebody at the back of the bus shouted to the boss, "Hey boss, what is that? Everybody's going a different direction to the way we're going." And the boss said, "Right enough." So he said to the driver something, and the driver said he didn't know the National Stadium was. So the boss said, "Follow the car."
So were you just following the Celtic supporters to the ground then, basically?
to get to the stadium. It was a day like this. I mean, it was perfect weather, and a bit later than this, of course, you know, but perfect weather and sun going down a bit, and just the nerves beginning to disappear, really, rather than build up, because the expectation sometimes is worse than the reality. Yeah. Once you get there and experience it, then you feel yourself, well, we're going to play a game of football. And that means you feel better straight away.
And as we're heading towards the tunnel, obviously you're mentioning how the nerves are going away, excitement, and you're ready now.
Yes, the first thing I noticed was, to be quite honest, it's terrible to think back like that, but they were all bronzed and oiled. And we were all peely-wally from a day and a half in the sun, and quite pale by comparison. Yeah. And they all seemed to be streaked up and basically all oiled, and lovely cashmere strip. Ours was cotton, and you know, so we lost that battle.
Yeah, that was the only battle.
That's the only battle we lost that day. Yeah.
I always find this bit absolutely spine-tingling, to be fair, Jim. And it must have been as a player to look.
Well, it is actually, because I mean, it's all right talking about it on the day and the build-up and all the rest of it, but it's a game of football, and that's what you're here to do. So everything is directed towards the game, and this is a sign that the game is just about to take place when you start walking down the tunnel. Yeah. And that was how it felt on the day. And do you mind if I walk down it?
Absolutely, let's go for it.
Well, it was a kind of apprehensive group of players who approached this tunnel. But once we get in the tunnel, the noise level increased because, as you can see from my feet, it is a concrete floor, and we were in studded boots for the game, so the noise level suddenly rose quite dramatically. And then just as we were kind of halfway along here, Bertie, for whatever reason, suddenly broke into the words of the Celtic song. And we all joined in, and that made us feel all better, because it took our minds off what we were about to do. Because the European Cup final is a unique experience for any player. That you're lucky to play more than one, and most of us were only lucky enough to play in one. So we were very apprehensive as we're coming out here, and suddenly Bertie was singing, helped us to relieve that sort of apprehension.
It's a grand old team to play for, it's a grand old team to see.
It was really amazing.
It must have been majestic.
Oh yes,
You can
yes.
hear the echo in here.
Sure, yeah, the echo as well, and the noise level all the time of studs banging on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, and then the referee pushing his way past us to get to the front because he had to lead us out. And as we approached the ground, which we'd seen the day before, we'd come up from the side there, and so this was kind of new territory for us. You'd be a strange person if you weren't a bit apprehensive beforehand, you know. But we were quite confident in our own way that we could cope with Inter Milan. And I'm not saying that we were totally confident we could beat them. I would say we were confident that we could cope with them and their attacks. And from then on, it was going to be anybody's game.
You're right at the back of the...
I always come out second last.
Was that a superstition
Yes,
almost?
yes, yes.
Where did that come from for you?
No, just we always the same. I think it was Murdoch was behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He always liked to be last, and he liked me to be second last.
Yeah.
So that was a tradition that always went the whole way through, and wherever we went, that was always the same. You know, he would wait for me. Right, Kearney, come on, right in there, and I'd go in front, he'd go behind me.
Right.
And I'd be the second last one out, he'd be the last one out.
So you had the entire image in front of you?
I could see Billy walking up the stairs there before I got to this step here, and the team behind him. It was quite an amazing afternoon and quite an amazing moment in my life, you know, because it still resonates. When I'm standing here just now, I can still picture it quite clearly, and it's a long time ago. Yeah, and this is us approaching the steps up to the stadium themselves, and it was a lovely day like it is today. So we went up the stairs towards the pitch and seeing and hearing the Celtic support in place. Quite phenomenal to see so many green and white strips and hoops and jerseys and sweaters all over the pitch. It was amazing, all over the place, all over the terracings. Absolutely fantastic. And as it is today, it was a beautiful surface, and it's looking better than ever. Absolutely fantastic.
And then what unfolded over the next 90 minutes?
Well, the 90 minutes
was
an amazing time as well. I mean, I gave away a penalty in 7 minutes, which I still think to this day was never a penalty. And the boss said to me after the game, "That was careless, Kelly," and I said, "Yeah, boss, okay, right, very good." But the following day, he called me into his office and he said, "I saw it again on television last night, and I think you were unlucky." He says, "I think it was an indirect free kick." I said, "I thought so too, boss, but I didn't want to say anything." So, two of us agreed on that.
But of course, you made amends for that.
I did. I laid on the pass for Tommy Gemmell to score, and that was funny too, because I've seen it many times since then, and it looks as though I'm dithering. I've got the ball, and if you see it from my point of view, I'm confronted by a solid phalanx of Inter players with no space at all to have a shot. And he said to me, "I thought you hadn't heard me shouting, Kearney." And I said, "Well, your granny in Lanarkshire heard you shouting, Tom, because I was waiting for somebody to break ranks, and eventually somebody did break ranks and came towards me, and that left a space for the shot. So then came the pass, and he came up behind me and had the shot right through the gap into the goal, and that made us level, and that was the turning point in the game. And then, of course, later on we got the goal, winning goal through Stevie Chalmers, and made it a very memorable afternoon in Lisbon.
it's such a unique stadium, Jim, I think.
It is, because
it's built for a big occasion like the
yes,
European
I mean,
Cup.
one side of it is completely devoid of any stands or anything at all, which you don't get in many stadiums, do you?
No.
You know? I mean, that side is obviously the kind of side where everybody would be sitting. And yet to see that on the other side was quite amazing when we came out.
As you were walking across the pitch and we're waiting for the game to begin, what was being said? I've seen obviously the clips of Jimmy Johnston, you know,
With Facchetti.
Yeah.
Aye, he said to Facchetti, "Hey, big man, you, me, Jersey, after game, swappo, swappo." Facchetti, he obviously didn't speak any English, just kind of looked at him. and I heard somebody say later on, he actually said, "What is this, by the way, I'm faced with?" I would soon know, by the way, because Jimmy gave him a terrible time on the day.
Brilliant.
You know, Jimmy could really take a person to the cleaners, and he took Facchetti to the cleaners that day. You know, he beat him inside, he beat him outside, stuck it through his legs and came back for another shot. He's quite a wonderful wee player, wee fella, you know. I said to him one day, not in that game, but in another game, I says, "Kenny, I'm not feeling too well today, so if you don't mind, can you keep the ball away from me?" And I said, "Well, Jimmy, I'm not feeling too clever myself, so I can assure you, if I get it, you're going to get it." And he says, "Kenny, has everyone ever called you a very rude letter, 4-letter word before?" And I said, "Aye, frequently." He burst out laughing and shook hands with me. And that was the kind of relationship we had, you know. We could mix it whenever it was special, you know.
Deep down, we're thinking we're going to get doing. But we're saying to ourselves, listen to the people, the miles, the thousands of miles they've came, the money they've spent, and what it meant to them. And we said, no, we're going to do it for them.
That team seemed to have a real garrulousness about it, you know, and real personalities.
Yes.
Was that key to us coming here and as part of
very much so, because the dressing room was always a noisy place and a lot of banter and repartee going on. And I mean, my roommate was Tommy Gemmell, you know, and you're lucky to get a word in edgeways, but I managed quite successfully to do that as well, you know. The two goalkeepers were together. Ronnie Simpson and John Fallon were together. Tommy Gemmell and myself, Bobby Murdoch, Bobby Lennox, and Billy McNeil and John Clark together, and right the way through the team, you know. So everybody was paired up with somebody that they got on with, and you know, we all mixed really, really well together.
As we are coming up here, this was the Celtic end, I suppose, of the stadium.
Yes.
In your mind's eye, can you still picture it full of green and white?
Oh yes, I can. Yes, I can picture it full of green and white. Absolutely amazing. And they were very good to us on the day. They supported us all the way. And they'd come a long distance. Not always the easiest of travel, because as I said, most times it was bus or cars, packed into cars. And you get 6 folk packed into a small car, you know, just to get there. And coming out, it looked ridiculous, you know. How they'd manage to fit in the back seat, you know. But no, it was a credit to the support for coming as far as this to support their team.
And for so many of them, Jim, as well, it would have been the first time that they'd ever leave Glasgow.
Yeah, they would have had to get passports for the first time and leave the country, and they all managed it. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
How big a part, you know, everybody, we talk about the Lisbon Lions, we talk about the 11 men that went out and conquered Europe that afternoon in 1967. But how big a part did those supporters play as well?
Fantastic support. Yeah, to come down the tunnel and hear a support like that when you're all that way from home, you know. We thought we would have a small support with us, but we didn't realise as many as that would turn up. And to come down the tunnel and hear a reception like that made us all feel as our hair stood on end, and we realised that we'd have to do something special that day, and fortunately we were able to provide us something special.
After the game, we're the European champions, but because of the invasion of joy onto the pitch, not every one of you guys obviously got up there. Only Billy went up to lift the cup.
And he didn't want to go.
Why was that?
Because the crowd, he'd have to fight his way through the crowd to get there. And when he was told he was going up to get a trophy, he was, you're kidding me, but, you know. But he said, you'll need to go up and get it. So he went up, and there was an armed police guard round about him just to get him up there. Yeah. And the rest of us were quite happy to stay in the dressing room and have a bottle of beer.
Was there ever a part of you through the years that thought it would have been nice if we'd have been all up there, or does it never came?
No, that came later on when we thought about it, and it would have been nice to get a presentation on the day. The way we got the presentation was almost unbelievable. We were sitting at dinner that night, and an official from UEFA approached the boss and put down in front of him what looked like a shoebox, and that was the medals. And the boss opened it up, and the medals were inside. And he handed the medals out, came along and handed the medals out to each player. And that was how we received our medals for winning the European Cup final, was at a dinner table in a hotel in Lisbon. Yeah.
It was a season when you achieved everything possible in a footballing sense. This stadium that you're standing in just now, Jim, it's so linked to your story and your career.
Yes, very much so.
When you come back here, does it feel special every time that you set eyes on it?
Yes, of course. And it's also the starter for what was an amazing couple of days, because when we went back home again, we went to Celtic Park for a little reception, and I met Elizabeth for the first time that night, and that was the start of our relationship. We got engaged a year later and married 56 years. So that was an amazing night.
What an incredible couple of days.
Yeah.
You won a European Cup.
Won a European Cup one night, and I met my wife the next night. So.
Have you had many better weeks through the years than that?
No, I haven't had any better than that.